You know, he was a deer the year before that somewhat got overlooked. I mean, he was a good-looking deer, but not one of those that we're kind of wondering, do we shoot, do we not shoot? I remember Matt Light had him close range for a while.
We had a good night. We saw one heck of a deer that probably next year we'll make some epic episode for Roche when he finally takes down this amazing 200-inch deer.
And he's just one of those that 12 months later just blew up.
Dude, pinch me. That could not have just happened. This is rifle season. That's why if you think it's odd that we're bow hunting in orange, we got to this time of year. But what we're also gonna do is we're gonna take a rifle. I keep saying this. You guys haven't seen him yet, but the guy that just dropped us off, his name is Curtis King, a really close friend of mine. Helps us out when we have soldiers in for these combat warrior hunts.
Does everybody have everything they need for what they're hunting? I.e., who duck hunters that does not have a shotgun?
I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Curtis King. Known him for a lot of years. He is a staple up here at the ranch. Actually all the time, but for sure when we have other soldiers in. And just one of those guys that over the years I've learned a ton from, and have gained more respect for him than I would probably ever tell him. So let me ask you, how many years did you do in the military?
20 years.
20 years. Why now do you spend so much time serving those guys?
Well, you know, the biggest thing is when I got out, I was hurt. So I went from, you know, in my mind, I went from something. You know, I was somebody. And then when I got out of when I retired and was no longer in the military, in my own mind, I felt like, you know, I wasn't anybody. And I wasn't around my military buddies anymore. I wasn't doing my military stuff. And those guys were still there, but I felt like I was no longer a part of them. So it really gives you a really big feeling of just being alone. And you don't realize it, but that's what gets most of us. You know, it's not that we're sitting in a room rocking, crying all the time. No, that's not it. It's our self-worth is in doubt a little bit. We're kind of like, okay, well now what am I?
He gone.
Rock and roll, baby. Oh my.
Now we're flying, boys.
Yeah.
I was actually stationed in Hawaii flying Black Hawks for the 25th Infantry Division. And we were doing a night raid. It was a full-scale battalion-level exercise. There was about 35 aircraft in the air that night. So we had a flight of 4 aircraft in that specific flight. We were under night vision goggles, so very little illume, so we didn't have the moon. You couldn't see very well. It was just a real dark night, really bad weather. What turns out to be worse weather than we really needed to be in, but we kind of didn't know that prior.
It's beautiful. Another one of those situations when you're outside going, man, God is cool.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Amen.
I was flying the lead aircraft, and the trail aircraft kind of had some difficulty and was trying to catch back up. And unfortunately, as he was trying to catch up, I had started my approach. the other aircraft had a Humvee, fully loaded Humvee that he was hauling underneath his vehicle, his aircraft. He was trying to get away from us, and what he ended up doing was flying over top of us and put his Humvee into our aircraft, and it hit into the rotor blades and sling loads, and collided and ripped off all my rotor blades, ripped off my tail rotor, and the aircraft started to spin, and we fell to the ground. And he also crashed, and unfortunately, our aircraft was able to land flat. And although everyone on board was hurt in one way or another, everyone survived on my air crash. We had 13 people on board. And unfortunately, in his aircraft, they weren't able to land flat. They landed upside down. And they had 6 people on board, and all 6 perished and didn't make it.
Is this your first time being up in a bird since retirement?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. This is the first time I've been in a helicopter since 2007.
Wow. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Man, I'm honored. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, I'm glad I could spend it with you, buddy.
Yeah.
So my crew chief that night had removed that APUT handle and given it to me, kind of just as a, I hate to say the word memento because that's but that's really what it was. Kind of it was a way for me to remember a bad event, but also to honor the guys that we lost that night. It was something that I don't ever want to forget that.
You make me miss this though, right?
Good.
No, this is not.
Back up in here.
This is not good. I'm a little sad.
I had one of my best friends, co-pilot, best man at my wedding. He killed himself in 2015, and I was just like, I'm not ever going to let another vet do that if I can help it. And this is what it was like for me. This is how I got through it. It may or may not work for you, but hey, let's just hang out and we'll get over it somehow. We'll get over it together.
Curtis gave me this piece right here. It's an APU handle off of a helicopter that he crashed. And ended up losing some guys. It was a bad deal, but this was one of the few pieces off that helicopter that he got, and he gave it to me. And I had it made into a charging handle. So I figured it'd be pretty cool with him in camp to actually put this thing to use. I know he would really appreciate it. I should say hot for this time of year. Man, we're coming up on December. We had a hunt a couple weeks ago. It was 8 degrees. Now it's in the 60s. Pretty crazy. This is our first hunt in a while, huh?
Yeah.
We did Nebraska. Killed it, literally. Came straight home, had soldiers showing up in camp. Just an absolute honor. We got to go guide these guys. And they killed some good deer, so I love hunting. But I'm gonna say I love the work we do through the E3 Ranch Foundation a lot more than I do coming out here and shooting deer. And we just learned so much from those guys. I mean, most of them are 20-year vets of the Special Forces, and the stories in their life and the lessons and just some of the stuff we've learned from them is, you just can't get it anywhere else. I hope I can do that the rest of my life and just serve those guys out at the ranch. I'm gonna make a call here that he comes from the southeast and walks dang near right underneath us. First picture I looked at, 10:30 this morning. No way. He walked right by that stand at 10:30.
You know, he was a deer the year before that somewhat got overlooked. I mean, he was a good-looking deer, but not one of those that we're kind of wondering, do we shoot, do we not shoot? I remember Matt Light had him close range for a while.
We had a good night. We saw one heck of a deer that probably next year will make some epic episode for Roche when he finally takes down this amazing 200-inch deer. Honestly, if this was my ranch, I get so tired of killing massive deer.
And passed on him. And he's just one of those that 12 months later just blew up and got huge.
Oh my gosh.
And again, this was later in the season, so we had wild game trail pics of this deer for months leading up to when we finally first saw him.
Walked right through here again at 9:08 this morning. We are right on top of it. I hope we didn't spook him somehow coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, get him. Oh, go down right there. Oh, baby Mike. Oh my gosh.
Is the Lord
Yes.
the most amazing person in the world?
Yes.
How about that, Jesus? Thank you. Oh my gosh.
You're something.
I guess I'm leaving. Hey.
Oh, my man.
Hey. When we serve others, God rewards us every time. Is that's unbelievable. What just happened? We just killed a 200-inch whitetail.
Oh my gosh, Mikey.
We just killed a 200-inch whitetail. That easy.
Dude, pinch me. That could not have just happened. We've got to hunt, it's December almost, and we've got to hunt this deer 3 times, maybe 4 times because of the wind, and he's been bouncing around. We just haven't been able to get in here. No way. I checked the camera on the way in. And again, this deer, it's an awesome food plot down here in the bottom, but he's in here in the middle of the night. He's up top, he's just different places and not showing up a lot in daylight. I checked the camera coming in, and he was in here this morning at 9 o'clock and at 10:30. And so we knew he was in the area. We haven't seen a deer. We've sat here and have not seen a deer yet. And I actually turned and told Mikey, I was like, I got a feeling that he's gonna come from that direction and he's gonna walk right under our tree, and pointed at the trail he was on. I said, he's coming from the southeast and he's gonna walk right under our tree. And you gotta be kidding me. Thank you, Lord.
There's nothing better in bow hunting than watching the deer go down. And obviously this deer went down right in front of us. My first phone call was to Curtis, said, hey, whenever you're ready, we got one down.
I didn't hear gunshots, so you must have got him with the bow.
Yeah, we did.
All right, well, let me load up and I'll come get you.
I don't know if did I tell you what deer it was? Or did I just tell you we shot one.
You called me in and I told you that, hey, I just shot a doe and I got another 8-point out here. I don't know if I should shoot it. I think I'm gonna let it walk. And you said, well, I got one down. I might need your help with it.
Yeah.
Got some presents?
You want to check? I haven't been over there yet.
Let's go check it
I've
out,
been
man.
waiting on you, buddy.
That's so good. Just roll.
How far shot was it?
Oh,
20 yards.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
perfect.
right there. And just exploded his heart.
Get away.
Come on. He is just an old warrior. Big old split brows. Jeez.
Brows coming out backwards and forwards, moss growing in him.
And it's amazing the difference between 4 and 5 on a lot of these bucks, man.
He ended up being the biggest whitetail I've ever killed with a bow.
Get out of here. He's just... It's amazing what one more year will do on some of these, dude.
That's a God you're welcome.
Yeah. That's the first thing Mikey said.
Well done, Adam. We'll pay you back today.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. You know what's really cool? Did you see that? You see that gun?
Yeah. One in my hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you check it out?
No.
Check it out.
I like it. All you gotta do is crash a helicopter, and you too can have one of these. Just crash one Blackhawk and you get one.
But yeah, just awesome. Obviously, I tell you all the time to have you up here, and the way you relate to those guys in a way that civilians can't, just makes our whole foundation, kind of purpose and mission, all come together. So
No place I'd rather be. Right up here in the woods with the boys and
it's awesome.
people that give a darn.
Hey, thank
Love you, brother.
I'm glad you're here, dude. Thanks for all your help.
I wouldn't miss it for the world, man.